sure you have a functioning antivirus or anti-malware application running on the Asus, because you might battle with viruses and malware issues, because it comes with Windows 11 OS. And for those who are familiar with Windows operating system, those are part of the challenges that comes with the operating system. So my advice is, once you get this device, either the original one or the new one coming, the Rog LIX, make sure you have a functioning antivirus or anti-malware running in the Asus to prevent any kind of crash or malware issues. It will really save you in the long run. The memory card issue, I've not had to experience that. So I have a memory card in there, but I've never had to I've not had the issues that comes, or the issue that people had experienced while playing games in the memory card or whatever. So I can't relate to that for now. Maybe in the future, maybe not. Still the original 512 gig that came with the Asus that I'm still using. Most of the time I play games, the games I have running is the only games I have in them installed. Once I'm done playing the game, I just uninstall it and give room for whatever game I want to play. So I don't really do that, that thing most people do, where they just leave tons of games installed in their system, whether they are playing it or not. It doesn't matter to me. I don't do that. If I'm not playing a game, I'll install it and give room for the game I'm playing. So I don't really think I will have to upgrade this yet from the 512 to maybe a 1 terabyte or 2. I'm not sure about that happening yet, but I think it's a good thing to do if you want to. I also have an external drive where I keep all my games for other emulations like the PS1, PS2, PS3 games. So when I need them, I just install them and play it, then I delete them. So but it comes with 512 gigs, so it's enough ideally. One other challenge I have is when you do a kind of bulk update in both the Armory Crate aspect and the Windows OS, when you restart the Asus, it will show restarting, but the indicator here will not turn off. This white light here will not turn off. It will still be on, and sometimes it will be on for 15-20 minutes. You have to manually turn it off and then turn it on again for it to boot back, for it to reboot the operating system. So I think that's one problem I've constantly had with this device, is having to manually restart it after making some kind of updates to the packages, both in Armory Crate and in Windows. I don't have that issue with Steam. It basically it does that on its own, and it does it automatically, but I have that issue with the Asus. I have to manually do that. And another issue I've had is sometimes when you install games on the Windows desktop, it doesn't really necessarily appear on the Armory Crate. It won't necessarily appear here. So most of the time you probably will have to manually add games to the gaming library on the Armory Crate. You might have to do that manually, and that's simple. Basically, just go to add. You go to add, then you click the RLB and RB buttons at the same time, and then you can then select where the game is, either in the desktop or wherever the game is. You can just select it here, and manually install it into Armory Crate. So, but for me now, I don't have any game I want to add, but like the Football Live 2024, I had to manually add that. Some other games I had in it before, I had to manually add it to Armory Crate. So Armory Crate doesn't automatically recognize games already installed in the Windows OS or in desktop, so you have to do that manually on your own sometimes. Make sure you're not always regularly updating RPCS3. RPCS3 is an application that allows you to run PS3 games on any Windows operating device or whatever device that is not PS3 basically. So it allows you to run PS3 games on that device smoothly. One issue I've had with RPCS3 is that it comes with it always has new updates every week. So if you're updating your RPCS3 every single time, it will affect the loading time for games, and depending on the size of the game, it might take a very long time for it to load. So it's very important that you don't always update it. I have a version of the RPCS3 that I've been using for I think a month now. I've not updated it since for a month, like over a month I've not updated it, and I'm okay with that, because the first time I got the Asus Rog Li, I would constantly update the RPCS3, and whenever I want to load God of War games, it will take a long time for it to load, because it has to, you know, recompile all its shaders again and patches too. So I was like, no, I'm not doing this, it's taking too much time. So I would advise you, once you have a stable version of RPCS3 running on your Asus, don't update it. Like, just leave it there and play your game smoothly using the old version. It's one package that I don't like advocate that you update all the time. So just have one that is operating well and just run with that. That will save you a lot of time. So like for instance now, this God of War, let me run it and you guys see what I'm saying. Now you see it's loading real fast, right? Like loading pipeline. Yeah, you see compiling pipeline objects, that would take time. If I had updated the RPCS3 application, that section of the loading, that loading section of the game would take a long time to load, a long time. So I would not advise you to always update RPCS3. It will just delay your gaming experience, in my opinion.
Before the age of the twilight set upon the gods, a legend rose to claim his place among them. And even though Kratos sat on the throne as the new god of war, he was haunted by vision.
Don't worry, I'm going to provide my configurations. I'm going to make that information available in the description section of this video, so you can just basically copy it into your own system. Both games run smoothly. I've not had issues with them at all. Is the Asus Rog Li better than the Steam? For me, I don't think it has gotten to that point yet. If that is the goal for the Asus Rog Li, it hasn't achieved that, in my opinion. One big factor that has basically hindered the Asus Rog Li from, you know, being I would say at the same level with the Steam Deck, first off, before even surpassing it, is the community support it has. Like, Steam Deck has a very huge community support, and not just gamers, but even the company itself. Like, they are constantly interacting with their customers to know what they need, and at the same time, if they have issues, they are willing to just step in and just help, like just support in any way, shape or form. If they have to even replace your whole device, they'll do that for you. And that, I think, is just super amazing, because the price tag for the Steam Deck compared to the Asus, you would think Asus will have that much support. And mind you, Asus have been in the so-called computer device making industry for so long, so you would expect them to have built this over time, in my opinion. But I don't think you get that much support. And even with the price tag of over $600 to $700, is that with that much amount of money expected from consumers to pay for the device, I mean, you should be able to give them quality support. Like, there shouldn't be any excuse for that. So in my opinion, I think with the Steam Deck affordable I mean, really, really affordable. That's one thing the Steam Deck had. Probably, like, to me, they've set that foundation when it comes to the handheld gaming space, that when you come into the space and you want to, you know, introduce or sell your gaming device, you have to make sure it's affordable, because the Steam Deck has set a kind of base price that everyone, to a degree, understand that it is possible to get an efficient, comfortable, smooth, and basically all-round amazing gaming experience from a device, you know, without having to break the bank to get it. So I think that's one pioneered foundation that Steam Deck has laid. So far, so good. In my opinion, I'll still take the Steam Deck over the Asus Rog Li. But it's a good alternative, a great alternative to the Steam Deck. So can't wait for the Rog Li X, and see you guys later.